Be patient. Can Facebook hear? We'll start over.
I don't know. I'm not in the Facebook chat. Are you?
We'll start over. We'll start over. See if YouTube can hear now. Can y'all hear now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Pithy is just like a short comment. I don't think that's what you mean.
Nah. You know, I mean, sometimes you don't fully understand words. You just, we're good?
Okay.
We're good. Sound is
let's
on.
start. Can
There we go. Shout out
Can
Jay
we start
Parker.
over with the open? Play the open over again. We're going to start over.
Wait, we have an open?
Yes, we have an open. Do you want to actually listen? No. Let's not do that.
And now, welcome to the best podcast in all of Baton Rouge.
Jesus Christ.
It's time for another Scone and Tea, live from Oliver Twist in BR. Is that how our open sounds?
No. All right, so I'll just start it, okay? All right, so. Because there has to be a damn audio cut for him to be able to take the open and then splice it in. We have to have a definitive starting point.
I just fucking gave you one.
That was awful. That was awful.
Nah, dude,
this is actually really good for this podcast. It's pretty much par for the course. It is Scone and Tea. We are at Oliver Twist in Baton Rouge, a maiden voyage of sorts, where we will be doing this podcast live every week on location here at Oliver Twist. So if you are watching or listening on demand, thank you so much. If it sounds different than our normal ambiance, it's because we are in a restaurant bar in one of my favorite places in all of Baton Rouge. So shout out to Oliver Twist for hosting us. I really hate my life that every Wednesday now I am going to be spending part of it with you. I look at my life and wonder where I went wrong.
Yeah.
When did I go right when I should have gone left?
Yeah.
Or maybe vice versa.
Probably should have left South Bend.
If that's
on you. You fucked it up. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
And so now here I am sitting at the Oliver Twist, a wonderful place, but you kind of poisoned this for me because I have to spend this time with you.
Well, if you're sensing any poison, it may be because I'm poisoning myself with these delicious drinks. I already had a shot of some French liqueur made by monks 400 years ago in the mountains. Apparently only like 2 to 3 people know the recipe at any given time. This right here is a mezcal cocktail made with that same green chartreuse liqueur, and it's fucking delicious.
Is there any way you could just scoot down a little bit?
Not only are you with me, no.
I mean, look at all the space right there. You really just need to scoot a little bit.
No, come on. We're going to be close so I can touch your leg. But not only are you going to be with me, but
I don't mind if you touch my leg.
You're going to be with me and
a
shot and 2 cocks. That's it. A shot and 2 cocktails every week. We have a plan. We're going to stick to it. Shot and 2 cocks every Wednesday night. Don't want to get too crazy, but it's going to be a ton of fun. And if y'all want to get on the shot and 2 cocks train, you're welcome to come out here, Oliver Twist, every single Wednesday.
To those of you who are watching us live, thank you very much. We appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button. If you're on Facebook, like the page, share the post. If you're watching on demand or listening on demand, we appreciate you for being here with us. So let's start with spring football is obviously the big topic right now. Brian Kelly's first spring. This past weekend was sort of unprecedented in that there was a 2-hour open practice.
Yeah.
The media got to watch a full 2-hour practice, and it was so important that neither you or I attended.
I was going to ask if you went. I mean,
we were both committed.
What's your excuse? I was helping out the kids.
So you were doing Hogs for the Cause.
Yeah.
I had the St. Jude Fair. My wife is on faculty at St. Jude,
yeah.
And then I was emceeing or participating in an event for St. Lillian Academy where my son, a fundraiser. So we were both attending fundraisers
doing things for the kids.
Now,
so did you also go on a 41-hour bender in which you did not sleep from Friday 5 a.m. till Saturday midnight?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't do that.
That was just me.
I made sure that I slept.
Do you know how many pictures I have gotten sent my way? Apparently, so after Manny Fresh and Juvenile played at like 1 in the morning, I caught a little tiger snooze on a hay bale for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. A lot of people took pictures of me.
I
got
really like it
wives
if you just
twerking on me.
Moved a little toward
I got other people. I got all the different angles. But hey, that little snooze set me up. And Hogs raised $2.6 million.
That's pretty awesome.
I don't want to say it's because of me, but it's not because of me. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Did you donate?
You know, we raised a lot of money, dude. We raised a lot of money.
Ask me if I donated.
I saw you did donate. Ben Mintz told me. I think you donated a nice amount, too. I should have. Yes. I'm going to donate. I have donated. I donated my time. I donated goodwill. And I donated Joe Burrow signed football, so there you go. So there you go. I did, in many ways.
$2.6 million is pretty rocking. So,
hell yeah, shout out.
So T-Bob and I were not at the open practice on Saturday. But we've obviously talked to plenty of people that were and heard Brian Kelly's comments. I had two big takeaways. I don't know if you have yours, you can start, but I have my two big takeaways if you want me to go first. Or if you have them, go.
No, look, my big takeaway is if you're in the middle of a 41-hour bender, give yourself something to do, okay? I was really hurting on Saturday until I decided to start slinging meat and cutting up pulled pork and pork belly and handing out to the people. So stay active if you're on one of those benders.
Okay, specifically with respect to LSU's 2-hour practice on Saturday.
Okay, crisp, efficient.
No, none of those things. Because you didn't see it, neither did I.
No.
But I'll tell you, I had two takeaways.
Never stopped me before, Matt.
one of them was football related, like on-field related. One of them was not. I think maybe the most interesting thing in listening to Brian Kelly right now is, and this kind of alludes to something you talked about last week on the episode, so I actually do listen sometimes when you talk. When something you say actually might have a degree of merit, being that you did play and you have gone through spring football before, there's something I might be able to glean from, like a modicum of something you might say of worth. And one of the things you said, and don't let me speak for you if I miss speaking, but you said like spring practice, it kind of depends on the team where, like, if you're a veteran, really spring is just like stretching your legs.
Yeah.
But if you're a young team, then it's certainly much more valuable. Brian Kelly, in the entire media session after that practice, did not mention anything about a player that stood out, position groups, like nothing. I mean, it was all about how they're building the blocks and the foundation on what the expectation is. Very abstract, almost like we expect every rep in the weight room to be perfect, so every rep at practice needs to be perfect. We expect you to run from station to station, and like those are things that it's not about install, it's not about position battles or how many balls a receiver dropped. It's all about just building. I know we're like this, it's sort of cliche and it's used over and over again, but it's like building culture and what the expectation is for every player within the program and everything they do. And that was really like one of my big takeaways from what he said. Like, there was nothing about what position group were winning battles.
You know what that is, Matt? You know what they fucking call that? The process, okay? Fucking respect the process. But, okay, even though it sounds like I'm being a bit tongue-in-cheek there because Nick Saban basically made the process like a meme, like so cliche. Cliches, a lot of times, are such for a reason, right? They're rooted in some homespun truth. Sometimes they're not, sometimes they are, whatever. In this case, I think they are. There are a ton of successful people that are successful because they are addicted to their process. I think you're probably a more process-oriented guy, even though I'm a bit more fly by my seat of the pants, right? I do have my own former process, definitely not a Brian Kelly process, but I have my own thing, right? But no, so what you heard from Brian Kelly after that scrimmage, and I did actually listen to the press conference, is a continuation of everything he has said since he has gotten the job. It was a continuation of talking about transforming the culture, what guys have been doing previously. And the thing that I ultimately point to, still, as the most representative thing in all of this is the daily wellness check-ins, where he fucking told us. He was like, it's not about the answers. I don't really fucking care. Like, I don't care about the answers. It's about, are they doing it every single day? Are the guys consistently doing what we are asking them to do? And that's how we're going to start to separate some of the leaders, who's going to be responsible, who's going to buy into the culture. And you've seen some pushback. I mean, the Kayshon Boutte situation has been pretty fascinating this spring, right? And that's kind of like a sanding down of like a rough piece of stone, right? Trying to bring it into line in a lot of ways. And maybe the stone cracks, maybe it doesn't. Only time will tell. But that's what the Kayshon thing. That's what the Kayshon thing.
Once he gets out there and he's playing again, he'll be fine.
That's where the Kayshon thing gets kind of fascinating to me, though, is from Kelly's perspective, Boutte is actually, and I'm not saying that Kelly is doing this maliciously or like purposefully, right? But what's the old saying? Never let a good tragedy go to waste in government, right? Maybe you take advantage, you get past things. Well, it's like Kayshon Boutte in this case is kind of the perfect martyr or symbol for Brian Kelly to reel in line to be the new sheriff in town, right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
To say look, this is my team now. This is the culture.
Are you going to get some
what do you
like
mean?
Greek mythology here?
No, he's the example. He's the example.
What
He is the example, the perfect example to make to the rest of the team that everybody has to buy in, that everybody has to be on the same page.
Then why can't you just say that?
That's what I fucking said. I'm saying he is because I'm trying to make a separation between the symbolic value and then him just actually being pitched to Kayshawn, because I think it dovetails. There's advantages to Brian Kelly for both. The fact that Kayshawn is the best player and it's been a lax culture and he's maybe doing whatever the fuck he wants, it allows Brian Kelly to come in here and say, I'm the guy now. We are changing. And that change is going to be represented by how I treat the guy who's been walking around here like he owns a place, $250K, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you're being crazy if you think that he's not perfectly set up to be that example for Brian Kelly.
Can you move down a little bit, just to the corner? A little more? Little more?
No. Respond. You know I'm right.
The other thing that the other takeaway that I had was if there was one, and this is not something Brian Kelly said, but it's listening to people who did watch this full practice. Jaden Daniels hasn't really been impressive. And I don't know what maybe the expectation would be for a guy that's like just shown up here and he's 5 practices in. But so it's going to take time. Like, I'm not trying to say he'll never amount to anything because of 5 spring practices. We've been in full pads like one fucking day.
Yeah.
But you were on the team when Russell Shepard came in?
Yes.
Okay.
Russell could not throw the ball that well.
Okay, so I give this example. I've used this example that was 2008. So, right, 2008 or 2009, whatever season. I think it was the 2009 season was his freshman season. And I've used this for 13 years now. I remember going out to the first practice where they let media come in, and you only got to see like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Les would let us watch like 10 minutes.
Individual drill.
And you didn't see nothing. But the quarterbacks, there was like, and I remember it was Jordan Jefferson, Jarrett Lee, Chris Garrett, and Russell Shepard. It was 4 guys.
Yeah.
And they were all in a line. Boom, 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 boom. And they were all throwing. They were doing a drop back and a throw. And there was a receiver 10 yards away or whatever, right? It was just boom, and they had to throw a different route. And it was like Lee, boom. Jefferson, boom. Chris Garrett, boom.
Yeah.
Russell Shepard. And I went, oh, shit, he'll never play quarterback in the SEC. Never. You just knew it was never going to work. So sometimes, like, regardless of if they have it between the ears or the want-to, whatever, like, there's a certain skill set you have to be able to succeed. I'm not saying Jay Daniels doesn't have that, because I've watched that kid ball. But that gave me a little pause, because I've been really
You've been all in on
adamant,
Jaden Daniels.
Adamant.
Yeah,
you don't bring that guy here if you're not intending to start him. So
intending's different, though. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. The rubber's going to hit the fucking road.
But
it goes back to the Michigan State example I told you about, where they brought old boy in from Temple.
I wasn't listening.
They brought old boy in from Temple, 5-year starter Temple, set all the
but
records.
That's different.
They brought him in to be the starter.
But he's a slappy from
They
Temple.
brought him in. I mean, Jaden Daniels threw 10 picks and 10 interceptions last year. So what are we talking about? Like, Jaden Daniels hasn't been good since freshman year. Like, the amount of information we have on Jaden Daniels, more has been bad than good. It's just that he had a wild 17-2 ratio his freshman year.
Fair question. Have you watched?
You think I watched the fucking Pac-12?
I do.
Fuck no, dude.
So I do.
Well, then you should watch harder. Because you said he was awesome.
Because he is, but is it just because he was playing against Pac-12 teams and he was like the superior athlete? Like, I watched that dude as a freshman against Oregon wreck.
I remember that game.
Their opportunity to play in the net. But like, I watched them in the opener of COVID year against USC in the Coliseum, where they had it and their defense pissed it away. But like, I've watched this kid play and he's impressive. Like, that's what I'm just saying. Like, is it, again, this is just conversation. Like, is it just he's only 5 practices in at a new place, or is there something more to it that maybe there is a little bit of a gap?
Let's not. No. It's like Treebeard said in Lord of the Rings. Like,
no,
don't be hasty, Master Halbert. Okay,
it's just conversation.
Don't be hasty. No, I agree. I think that I think the 5 practices thing weighs more to me than maybe looking a little out of sorts. Because, again, you got to appreciate not just – I mean, Matt, it's culture shock. It's changing your home. It's getting to know a new team. It's getting to know a new staff. It's getting to know a routine. We just talked about the value of process. Well, everything that was a part of the process in Jaden Daniels' life has literally been, shattered. And he's trying to rebuild it right now.
Literally shattered?
Fuck, I guess it is more of a figurative thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely figurative.
Okay, so everything in his life has been figuratively shattered.
Figuratively shattered, yes.
And he's trying to put it all back together, right? And that takes time.
Can you imagine if everything in his life was literally shattered? Like, all of the things literally shattered? Like, you walk into your apartment, your couch has been shattered, your bed has been shattered.
Car.
You go home and your mother is shattered.
I'm about to say, that's when it gets dark. You get into the family.
Oh, yeah, okay, let's not do that then. Not the people.
No, but yes.
Your car has been shattered.
Fair point. Figuratively. So I'm willing to give him time. But also, I will say this, Matt. And I know Denbrock's, and it's a very salient point that you make, for once, about the style of offense that they've wanted to run and how Jaden Daniels probably fits that better than Miles Brennan does. But, again, Miles Brennan was really fucking good
No, he wasn't.
when we saw him. Yes, he was.
No,
dude.
he wasn't.
You are tripping, dude.
If you go back and watch 2020, so much of the conversation – no, I'm serious. See, I'm going to have this legitimately, okay? So much of the conversation was – because I remember, I was doing my show at the time, and I remember.
I was too, dude!
It was Brennan's indecisive. He's holding onto the ball too long. It's a shame. He's waited this long to have this opportunity. Grip it and rip it. That was a big part of the conversation.
But you're forgetting about the improvement. The improvement from Mississippi State to Missouri
because
was
the Vanderbilt
striking.
game. The Vanderbilt game was week 2, and that was John Emery went off. That was a John Emery game.
But there was improvement. Mississippi State was indecisive.
And even in the Missouri game, he was still indecisive in that game. It was a game where Missouri sucked, and it was you could throw short passes and they'd run a long way. Seriously, go back and watch. Go back and watch it. I mean, it's.
No, I remember perfectly.
We are going to go back and watch that game together.
Fine, I'm down.
We're going to say the same thing.
We will. No, what we're going to see.
I think people have looked at the stat line, and they've committed themselves to 400 yards against Missouri and all, and it wasn't there. It really wasn't. He was indecisive. He didn't fluidly function. That was a big part of those 3 games.
If we're going back to watch him, we have to go back and watch all of the games. Because the improvement, I agree with you, coming out of Mississippi State, that was a lot of the conversation. However,
Alex Barnes, Matt is spot on about Brennan.
Yeah, Alex is a fucking idiot. Hey, way to expose yourself, Alex. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, Alex. Don't open your mouth and confirm it, right? Just shut up, and nobody would know. No, Matt, the only reason why we're talking about Miles Brennan is also because the defense was fucking awful. If the defense wasn't awful, nobody would have said shit about Miles Brennan. Even with the defense being awful, he got significantly better by Mizzou from Mississippi State. He became more decisive. He started to use his legs better. Hell, it's kind of how he ended up getting hurt. And he played the Mizzou game with a fucking crazy-ass injury that nobody's ever seen.
Now, the thing I'll tell you about Brennan is he's a tough-ass dude. There's a story about so Gabe Fertitta, who coached at Catholic, who's now an analyst at Florida State, was on staff at Stanislaus and knew the Brennans and told a story when Miles signed. Miles had a game where he got cleated.
Yeah, Brody wrote about this.
Bro, Gabe told the story. So if you read it and I'm mistelling you correct me, but he got cleated and had a gash where you could almost see bone.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not coming out. They just wrapped it with a whole bunch of shit. He played the rest of the game. As soon as the game ended, they put him in an ambulance, took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
I am not in any way questioning Brennan's toughness at all.
Toughness goes a long way in that position.
I agree.
Man.
I agree.
Right towards winning over.
I agree.
And it's funny. We always talk about how Miles is so skinny and shit. We don't really talk about Jaden Daniels being skinny. Now, look, full disclosure, because I know some of y'all are going to say, I think I'm being objective here, but to be fair, Miles has dated my cousin for a couple of years here. I just want to add that there, okay? This is I'm filing with the SEC to say, yes, I have some interests here, okay? There are connective tissue.
Wait, so he's marrying your cousin. So you're gonna be related.
I don't know if they're not engaged technically, but they've been dating for a long time.
He proposed.
They are engaged technically.
Did you not know that?
Oh, no, I did know that. My wife shot the engagement. That was a little bit of a CTE, guys. Can't get mad at me that CTE. That's pretty fucked up if you do.
What the fuck? Like, there's literally a picture, like, after he recommitted to the program.
Yeah, my wife shot it.
Then he's, like, on the field doing
Yeah, my wife shot it.
So how the fuck did you, like, I thought you maybe just didn't want to let a secret out.
Dude,
by the way, Tom Brady unretired, asshole.
I got a lot going on today, dude. I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm coming off a Hawks. Look, the bottom line is I'm just trying to disclose my connective tissue, okay? But I still fully believe what I'm saying. I also fully believe the quarterback battle remains as up in the air as any other battle on the team. I thought it was interesting that the Advocate kind of highlighted Garrett Nussmeier the other day. Wilson Alexander had that old piece about him trying to shed the gunslinger role. Maybe that's just because he had media availability. But I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels or Miles Brennan. I know that when we originally talked, you thought that maybe – I know I hate the sloppy mic. But you thought it was Jaden for sure. Have you backed off of that? Do you think it's more 50-50 now?
I still think that's why they brought him in. But I think it's not as certain as I would have thought. But I think there's obviously still a reason you brought him in. And the same reason, I'll put it to you, here's an analogy. Tell me if this makes sense. Jameis Taysom last year. Like, they went through the whole thing. Like, Taysom started the first preseason game. They were splitting reps all the way along. But we all knew it was going to be Jameis, and it was Jameis.
Yeah, I guess.
It feels like that.
Well, I think we need more data before we say that it's that. Because, like, if you talk to Saints insiders, like, everybody was saying, like, hey, and it's Jameis.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
All right, if you had a bet today, who's starting against Florida State?
If I'm placing a bet? I bet Miles. I mean, it's like an uber confident bet.
I'm taking Jaden Daniels.
Okay, let's put $10 on it.
10,000?
$10 on it.
Okay, $10.
I am the common man gambler. I do $10 and $20 bets.
Speaking of $10, you know what $10 could get you here tonight?
Oh, what about maybe a little blackened Willet, one of my favorite spirits.
Actually, you've never had it.
I've never had it. That is true.
So one of the things that the guys here at Oliver Twist are doing while we're here, they are doing what they're calling a break-even bottle. They're going to take a great bottle, and they're going to sell pours essentially at their cost until the bottle's gone.
Yeah.
So tonight, it's Blackened Willet. I love Willet Rye. It's awesome. Blackened is a allocated release, a special release that Willet did, and it's blackened. It was a collab with Metallica, the band.
Yeah, it's like Blackened Fish.
They played Metallica music in the aging rooms, like with the barrels. So that's a little gimmicky.
You gotta love a good gimmick.
but the juice is fantastic. I love rye. It's spicy. This is full-bodied and awesome. I mean, I really, really, really enjoy this night. So you can try. Like, it's super hard. You'll never walk into any spirit store and see Blackened Willet on the shelf, ever. Like, you have to get lucky and win it in a lottery or something like that. You can walk in here tonight and get a pour of it for $7.
$7, and it would normally be $30 to give you an idea of what you're talking about, right? So we're going from like a full value standpoint.
It's
$7, or you're under 33% at that point. Like, fucking take advantage. Yeah, I mean, look, I tried to pitch them. You know, maybe playing like Lord of the Rings books on tape and like Star Wars movies and making like a nerdy
thing.
This is the other thing right here.
Yes.
This shit right here, it's hard to eat on air. But these are the house fries, which are delicious. If you've never had the house fries here at Oliver Twist, they're amazing. House fries with the house gumbo, with pulled pork, with jalapenos and pepper jack cheese on that thing, and it is really, really good. Really, really good. Obviously, you got to bring your belly if you want to come eat this. Put a little hot sauce on top, you're good to go. I mean, it makes sense, right? The fries are your rice in this situation. It's like gumbo with pulled pork and jalapenos. It's good.
Jimmy Magoo in the YouTube chat said, does Metallica music do something to the mash?
Yeah, it makes it fucking mash, dude.
I mean, maybe they thought, like, when you're banging it, like, it makes the juice consistently move because of, like, the bass, the beat. I have no idea.
That's one thing I noticed.
It's an angry aging. I don't know. Probably not at all.
From watching you, Josh, and Matthew the other day, is that Whiskey Bros call it the juice. So, guys, if you're ever out there and you're talking to some alcohol bros, you got to be like, the juice was shit, dude. I didn't really like it. Just call it the juice, and you're going to pass the test. You're good to go.
So that's legit something that people say with respect to any spirit.
Yeah,
people
that's
say
what I mean.
with beer
That's what I mean.
as well, not just whiskey.
Any, but it's very jargony. I'd never heard it before until watching a couple of whiskey experts chop it up.
You got it.
A whiskey dick pissing. I said
there was no pissing contest.
I said
it was conversation.
I said whiskey dick pissing contest, which y'all were having, and that's a funny fucking joke, and no one laughed. Whiskey dick is funny, objectively, right? Because that's the thing that we all know about. When two males are kind of, trying to do one, that's pissing contest. That's funny. I combined them perfectly, and no one in the circle laughed. Y'all all left me hanging there.
Sean Shepard said, when's the last time Matt went into an LSU or Saints football season optimistic? Get him, T. I did pick the Saints last year to win the division.
Oh.
I was not at all optimistic about LSU the last 2 years, and I was right, asshole. And I did pick LSU in 2019 to go 10-2. They had the greatest season we've ever seen.
I picked him to go 15-0, Matt.
No, you didn't, asshole.
Yes, I did.
Fuck
hey,
you.
Check the tape.
I would love for you to present the tape where you picked LSU to go 15-0 before 2019.
Why is the onus on me to I'm presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Because you're the one making the claim.
Oh, no, that's not how it works.
You're the one making the claim.
No. Look, check the tape.
Check
the tape. I said 15-0 for 2019, and, I was right. Hey.
You're the one making the claim, just like in a court of law. If you're the one making the accusation, then you have to prove.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
Yes, that's exactly how it works.
This is sports talk. This isn't a court.
So you just get to say whatever you want.
Have you ever watched sports talk? Do you see Mad Dog and Stephen A. do a battle? Do you watch it? Yes, that's how it happens. You just say stuff, and you hope that people are like, yeah, that guy's fucking right. I remember that. Like somebody out there was like, I remember when he said that. That was crazy. That was wild. And he was right. Damn. How about that? No, I did not say 15-0.
Okay. By the way, I also said that I thought the projected Vegas win total for LSU this year, I thought would be at 7.5. I've actually seen some sharps put it at 6.5.
Oh, so you're saying you like the over.
So fuck you, guy. The reality is fans are going to lean into, every transfer and think, oh, this guy's fucking awesome. Well, there's a reason he transferred to your school.
Unless you're Joe Burrow, but yeah.
There are exceptions. But Joe lost the job.
Yeah.
And he was amazing. Give me another example of that. It's
No. Your point is taken. That was always my old thing with the transfer portal as well. He's transferring for a reason, right? He couldn't win the job there. He's not going to win it here. Look, I don't know, though, man. I think that well, I don't think okay, so Go Tiger says I say 15-0 every year. I don't go 15-0 every year, but you do know me. I am an optimist by nature, right? And
now this guy's right.
What'd he say?
Golf South said Terrio picked 15-0.
Okay, there you go.
Because he always does, which is true.
But that's a great fucking point. That's why you do this, okay? In the land of sports takes, it's like a gold rush, Matt.
Why do you have to hit me every time?
You're looking for unclaimed.
You have to hit me every time you talk.
You're looking for unclaimed
You're
real
very
estate.
handsy.
Unclaimed real estate. So, if nobody's saying 15-0, Terrio's out there. He's like, I think there's gold in these here caves. 15-0, and every time he's wrong. But one time he strikes fucking gold, and then he's rich, and he can say, "Look at me. I tried to tell y'all. Nobody wanted to listen to me."
It's fucking brilliant.
Anyway,
I love that I'm sitting here right now.
Anyway, I believe in Brian Kelly, winningest college football coach actively right now. Fuck you, Nick Saban. I think, slam the over. That's the point. If it's at 6.5, slam the over.
I would take the over.
100%.
And I do think LSU is going to beat Florida State in the opener, by the way. I think Brian Kelly is a better coach than Mike Norvell. Remember, Notre Dame opened up against Florida State this past season. Brian Kelly will know a lot of that personnel. I do think LSU is going to win that game in the Dome. So I do think they will get over. But anyway.
Here's a question that kind of leads us into a topic we had on the list here. Anthony Berry. Is the Honey Badger coming home, T-Bop? I want it, man. I want it. I've said it on air plenty. I don't give a fuck about the money. I don't give a fuck about the fit. I don't really give a fuck about anything. When it comes to Tyrann Mathieu, I am irrational, okay? I am an irrational lover. I don't want to think about things. Oh, Chucky Diesel, what's happening, bro? I don't want to think about things, okay? Tyrann Mathieu, if you sign him onto your team, he makes you a better football team. That is just the bottom line return. His career has proven that. Think about the year he went to the Texans, and they were great. His career has proven if you sign Tyrann Mathieu, you get better, okay? And I'm very nervous about the game of chicken that the Saints are playing with Tyron in the marketplace right now. Basically saying, look, we like you like me, here's our number, I know it's not your number. Well, you want your number, go see if you can get your number. The problem with that game is, even if another team doesn't give Tyron his number, which could happen, is that sometimes, like think about the Mark Ingram, well, I guess it's a little different because you signed a Latavius Murray, before Ingram had signed. But, like, Mark Ingram ended up settling on a number that the Saints would have paid him if he would have been there originally when he left for the Ravens. So in the same way, I'm worried that Tyron might – I don't want him to get spurned or feel, like, upset and then end up signing with someone for a number that the Saints would have paid him. Like I said, it's just a dangerous game of chicken, and I want Tyron no matter what. I don't give a fuck. Give him all the money. I want him, bottom line.
I kind of do too. But I think there's two scenarios that could play out. One is the Saints use their 49th overall pick, the second-round pick, for a safety. Because this, like, everyone agrees the kid from Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton, is, like, far and away the best safety, right? I mean, he'll be a top 10 pick, all that stuff. If you look at mock drafts, and a mock draft's, whatever. I mean, I just kind of look at a mock draft to see if there's a consensus on where people think what range a player will go. That's really why I look at it. Most mock drafts have like 4 or 5 safeties going in round 2. So I think you could get remember Marcus Williams was a second-round pick. Von Bell was a second-round pick.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints have actually gotten starting safeties in round 2. So they may go into round 2 and look at 49, and if they have a starting safety, they take him. And then you've got a dude for 4 years on a rookie deal that could be a starter, and it would make a lot of sense. But if they come out of the draft and they don't pick that starting safety, then I think you can go back into negotiations with Tyron. But the other thing I'll tell you, T, is what's abundantly clear is Tyron's market isn't what he hoped it would be. If it was, he'd already be signed. Same thing with Teron Armstead. Armstead wanted Trent Williams money.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to get $20 to $22 million. Well,
injuries fucked him over.
Yeah, man, but he got $17.5, which is great. I mean, $17.5 is awesome. I mean, you're living in Miami and no state income tax in Florida, and that's all great and all. But if the Saints were offering you 15, I mean, I get why you walk, but I don't know that the market for, like, Tyron wants top safety money. Like, he wants Marcus Williams money.
Yeah.
He's not going to get that. He's 29 years old. He's entering his 10th NFL season. If you want a 4-5-year deal at $17 million plus, like, he's not going to get that. So what's the market going to be? Who's in search for a starting safety?
I mean, the Colts are another. So my buddy works for the Colts, and I hated to hear this, but I didn't realize this because I don't follow Colts social media or the news cycle. Apparently, he's been flirting with their fans on social media as well. Yeah, he's been liking pictures of him in Colts uniforms. He's been tweeting flames to them. So, unfortunately, we're not the only girls he's texting, boys, but it's okay. It's okay. See, and again, like, the point about the second-round pick, yes, that is probably a better strategy for building a team in the NFL. But that is where some players, and especially I can't separate my relationship from that guy in this case because that is the best football player and the best leader that I ever shared a locker room with. And that's when he was supposedly a bad guy, which is something else I want to speak on. Look, I know that Tyron had to turn some things around in his personal life, but he was never a bad guy. He was never a bad teammate. He was never a bad leader. Yeah, exactly, right.
Like now, I mean, in the last CBA in the NFL, that's basically what they negotiated was fewer practices and let us smoke weed.
Yeah.
We'll give you more money. Owners, we'll give you more money. Just let us smoke weed and we have fewer practices.
That's how rough.
It's the worst deal ever.
That's how rough the common man struggle is out here.
But that's what it is.
Okay, but the thing is, yes. So, and he'll tell you, like, he needed to change some things, sure. But I feel like there's a misconception that he was like, some awful person. Then he became this leader. No, from day one, that guy was the most transcendent leader / football player I've ever shared a locker room with. So if I'm irrational about him, it's because of that. It's because of what I seeing him do in the NFL. I mean, he's an all-decade team member. Like I said, everywhere he goes, they win games. It's just he's a force multiplier for good. And sometimes in, like, the ruthless, cold, bottom-line calculation of roster building, you can lose that. And I think it'd be a fucking missed opportunity for the Saints not to just go all in and sign this dude.
All right, so let's spend like the last 10 minutes of the pod each week, since we're going to be live and we have live viewers doing like
questions,
viewer questions in the last 10 minutes. But first, Do you want to
start here? I'll tell them to get the questions in, and then I will start.
Do you want to do some baseball? Like,
yeah,
there's a bunch already in there.
Okay,
so
cool.
drop your questions if you got them. Do you want to do some baseball? Or?
I mean, I've been watching a lot of baseball, man, so let's do some motherfucking baseball. 16 runs last night. How about it? Fucking home runs, bitch. What you know about it? Dylan Cruz, cruise missiles. What you know about it? Let's go. Let's talk some baseball.
So should we not talk baseball?
Yeah, let's talk baseball. I do have one interesting thing to say about baseball.
Okay.
So do you want to start, and then I'll tell my one
No, I would
interesting
love to hear your one interesting thing.
For all the whining and moaning and woe is me and we fucking suck and blah, 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 blah that LSU fans have going on right now, the entire SEC feels shittier than LSU does right now. Have you seen the SEC standings?
Yes.
I know you have, but I guarantee a lot of you motherfuckers have not. Look at this. Look at this. I'm about to read you off the East. Now, Tennessee, if you haven't seen them, they're doing some transcendent type shit here.
They've lost one game.
Tennessee is 28-1. They've won 20 games in a row. They are 9-0 in conference.
Their one loss was in Houston.
They're 20-0 at home. Okay. Then you got Georgia at 6-3. But here's where it gets a little weird. Vanderbilt 4-5. Mizzou 3-6. Florida 3-6. Kentucky 3-6. South Carolina 3-6. You're like, oh, but T-Bob, that's the East. East fucking sucks, dude. What about the West? Arkansas 7-2. Regular season champ. Still choked. Don't worry about it. Auburn 5-4. Surprising. After that, every single team in the West at 4-5. LSU, Ole Miss, A&M, Alabama, Mississippi State. So that's the former number one team in the country, the defending national champs. Florida's at 3-6. Vandy's at 4-5. The whole SEC right now is shitting on themselves. So give it time. That's all I'm saying. Just pump the brakes. It's not as bad as it looks or feels.
Jerry said this is like opening a time capsule from the last football game.
Yes. Yes.
We even got my guy Cliff over here, bro.
I know. Where are the cookies? Erica, where are the cookies?
There will be no cookies. I need to lose weight before football season, not gain weight, because invariably I'm going to gain weight during football season. So I need to lose weight right now.
Intermittent fasting.
I actually...
I love it. I have a friendly job for it, to be fair, though.
I think, so when we are sitting here next week, I think we will have a much better read on what this LSU baseball team is going to be.
After
Mississippi State.
Trip to Dude.
Because, like, every week, obviously your sample size grows. You learn more about your team, and you learn more about how Jay Johnson and the staff are trying to build their lineup and how they want to approach games. Like, what we know is this is an elite offensive team. You got six dudes that are hitting 300. I mean, the way I said it today is you have four guys that are no doubt major leaguers, and none of them is the guy who's leading your team in home runs who's batting sixth.
You talking about Joe Bear?
And the guy who led the SEC in RBI last year who's batting seventh.
Yep. Dugas.
Gavin Dugas. Like, you are an elite offense. And elite offenses sometimes get shut down by good pitchers. Like, that happens. That happens at every level of baseball. But you are an elite offensive team. You have a good pitching staff. You just don't have starting pitching.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
like,
the whole isn't bad, right? I mean, I like how they've thrown together the midweeks.
You got arms. You can get outs. It's all good. But you don't have starters. And that's going to be a problem when you're like the Friday against Florida when Hunter Barco shut you down. Like, you didn't have an answer. Blake Money is good, but he's not that good yet. He might be next year and important in his career.
Well, Blake Money got hyper-accelerated, right? I mean, you know more baseball than I do, but this is like when Jarrett Lee kind of got thrown in the mix. Like, ideally, Blake Money wasn't even on the fucking postseason roster. Now he's supposed to be the Friday night guy. Like, ideally, that guy goes through an evolution where maybe he starts on Saturday or Sunday and then works into Friday. Like, think about how shocked we were when we heard that Blake Money, I mean, I don't know if you were, I was, when I heard that Blake Money was going to be the Friday night guy.
Yeah. Well, you're great offensively. You have good arms. You don't have good starting pitching, and defensively you're bad. You're a very bad defensive team. So I think the way Jay Johnson is going to have to manage this team is just he's going to have to very actively manage. What I mean is, like, there's some teams where every day you go to the yard and you know what 1 through 9 is going to look like.
Yeah.
I think literally every game you could be looking at a different batting order. Like in a given day, if against that pitcher.
Well, he's kind of been doing that, right? I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
But I think like that's going to continue, and I think like look at the Friday, or they win the Florida series, and on Sunday they go Dutton Taylor. You're like, oh, that worked really well. Like that could be your Sunday option, your game 3 option, Dutton Taylor. Well, then this past weekend on Saturday they have a lead. And they put Taylor out there because they trust him, and they're like, we got to win this game.
Yep.
So he's our best arm.
He
put
looks
him out
so
there.
good in a uniform. By the way, he looks awesome.
He's good. So, like, I mean, that's how it's supposed to look. He's going to be a weekend starter. Like, there's eventually in his career. Grant Taylor is, I mean, mid-90s, sliders got a lot of run. Like, that's how it's supposed to look. He's going to be a weekend guy eventually, like a weekend starter in his career. He's got the stuff to do it. But like, I don't think we're going to have at any point this year a set rotation. I'll throw one thing out.
Okay.
I'll throw one thing out that I think they may try, and I think they may try to pitch backwards. I don't know if they've talked about this. I'm sure they've considered everything, but I think you move Money to game 2, Hilliard to game 3. Gives you a decided advantage in those 2 games.
Oh, the old switcheroo.
And I'm not saying you forfeit. You just concede game 1. But you approach it a little differently to give your advantage in 2 of the 3 games. And the guy that I would start on Friday is Devin Fontenot. And the reason is because you came into this season and you thought Fontenot has been in high-leverage situations, was going to be your closer, and it hasn't worked that way. Like, they trust Razelman, they trust Gervais, and there's guys that they like in those situations. And they've really lost a role for Fontenot at this point, and we've seen him extend. I would almost give him the ball to start the game and say, get me off to a good start. And if you can get me 15 outs, get me through 5, you get me through 7, great. But get me off to a good start on Friday and then pass the ball.
So, okay, in that, how do you manage when it goes wrong for Fontenot? Like, you got to throw the trash arms in, right? So you could almost be conceding immediately Friday.
But it just depends what the game's looking like. I mean, are you down 2-0 in the second? It's not over. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. I guess I just get worried about maybe spending too many resources on Friday and not having enough left over for Saturday and Sunday, because that is a very all-in on Saturday and Sunday sort of like affair, right? Like I don't know if I want Taylor wasted coming in for Fontenot on Friday.
But I think right now they've got 12 arms that they'll run out there on a weekend. I mean, that's like Skip used to say, like by the time they got to Omaha, he was counting on 6 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 6 guys he knew he was going to throw, and that was going to get him through the postseason. I mean, they have a dozen guys right now that they'll give the ball to go get out. So I really don't worry about that right now.
You want to do some of these questions?
Oh, you've been like copying and pasting them?
Yeah, I got them all.
Oh, okay.
All right, continue. Better team. No, these are all my notes. Okay, Dustin Blanchard. Should Hilliard and Money switch spots in the rotation? We just kind of touched on that. Bilbo Baggins, boiled crawfish or boiled shrimp?
But to his point, though, if Hilliard and Money switch spots, that's putting Hilliard on Friday, Money on Saturday.
You're wasting Hilliard.
I still don't think, I don't think Mikhail Hilliard beats Hunter Barco.
Yeah, you're wasting him.
I just think you move them back, and you like this. A lot of teams did this against Aaron Nola. When Nola was going, like, and teams were like, yeah, we're not beating that guy.
The cyborg.
They would just pitch backwards. They throw whoever on Friday, almost conceding, and they try to win it Saturday. Sunday.
And I'll never forget, what year was it where Mikhail had all his freshman year? We had all the magical Sundays. He was great on Sunday.
He was.
Boiled shrimp or boiled crawfish or boiled shrimp? Boiled crawfish. Come on.
Yeah, crawfish.
Why are Notre Dame fans delusional?
You want to elaborate?
Because they're Catholics. Should Cranford start at shortstop this week?
That's fucked up.
I know, that was a joke. Should Cranford start at shortstop?
No.
This weekend?
I don't.
You're a hitting team. You got to go on hitting,
but
right?
It's not only that. Like, hey, Cranford started against Grambling. He misplayed 3 balls. Like, if there were no doubt like this, just seismic difference defensively, okay, but it's just not. I mean, I watched him against Grambling in the first inning. He misplayed 2 balls. One of them he just put in his pocket. Like, He could have forced it second or made the throw at first. He was indecisive, didn't either.
I saw it too. Thought the same
you didn't
thing.
Watch shit.
I
know.
I saw
that's
it
why
too.
I'm here is
I
to
thought
actually
the same.
talk about the things
Bro,
people want to
so
talk
you
about.
took the
You don't pay
words.
so much shit.
You took the words out of my mouth, dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
T-Bob, should we start a cycling podcast? No. Can Moscona agree to a truce with me? Says Bilbo Baggins. No. What would you and Matt do?
I can't even hear you.
Brendan Huff.
Can you turn up my headphones? Can you turn up my headphones?
Brendan Huff asks, what would you and Matt do on a deserted island? So to be fair, I said this morning, if you were on a deserted island, Danny was like, oh, I don't want a guy on there. And I was like, bro, it doesn't matter. Eventually, y'all are going to bang. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl. So that's what we would do on a deserted island. Eventually, I would take Matt. If he wasn't willing, we're on a deserted island, but eventually that would happen. But I don't know, we'd probably, like, argue about, like, coconuts and stuff. He'd be like, I think the coconuts in February is actually the perfect time. And I'd be like, check the fucking coconuts, you idiot. March is when they're ripe, obviously.
I would wait for you to invariably do something stupid and kill yourself, and then I would eat you to survive.
Bro, but I would be good, though.
Probably. A lot of meat on those bones.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I would taste so good.
A lot of meat on those bones.
I've thought about it a lot. Like, if I ever get in a cannibal situation, I got to be a head on a swivel because, like, my ass would probably taste so good. Like, y'all don't even know. Ask the show, do you understand the Stingley hate from LSU fans, or do you think it's stupid?
I think it's
expected, dude. I think it's a
fucking
product.
absurd. Like, it's the thing. And by the way, that's not all LSU fans. That's a small segment of fucking morons, which are the segment of the fan base that I hate. Like, how can you possibly criticize a 20-year-old kid who's out there busting his ass for you, who's got a List Frank injury, who's got millions of dollars on the line? Like, fuck you. Like, seriously, fuck you.
Point.
I'm serious. Those are the fans. It's a very small segment of the fan base that I fucking hate. Like, if I could line them all up in a row and bitch slap every one of them, I would. That's the segment of the fan base that makes me hate what I do, that I actually have to entertain what those assholes think.
I mean, in their defense, he should have played.
Fuck you. You kidding me?
No.
Come on, man.
I am kidding you. What I'm not kidding about is what you went into there was nuance and context, right? I think that the average person that loves LSU and maybe isn't diving into, like, why is Stingley out that deep, it's very easy to get sucked into the narrative of, oh, he made it and then he just never wanted to play again. Like, if you don't know about the List Frank, if you don't know about these things, you're not, like, sitting down and thinking, like, you know, he actually has millions of dollars on the line, and so, like, maybe it makes sense. Like, if you don't know that something, you're just like, oh, he made it, he don't want to play anymore. That's all I'm saying, is that I see how people arrive there. But, yes, objectively, I think it's pretty dumb. And, hey, man, he got us a natty.
He goes and balls in the NFL. No one's going to care. Jamar Chase opted out in 2020. Said, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Gave him the 7 jersey, he opted out. Does anybody care? No. Why? Because he balled out in the NFL, and you got to claim him. That's all. Stingley goes, he becomes all-pro, all-rookie, whatever, like rookie of the year, defensive, y'all will love him again.
Yeah, Stacy Gilmore says, I want to drive out there and see this in person. Damn right, Stacy, come on.
Great crowd, dude. The whole bar's full.
We about to be rolling every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Let's fucking go. Zachary Moe asks, do you ever watch the 2019 football highlights to cheer yourself up?
No.
No, but I've been watching Charmed in studio lately, and it's fucking crazy. Who should we draft at 16? They're going like wide receiver tackle in round 1 if they don't package it, right? Isn't that the idea?
There's this whole idea that they might package those 2 picks, move up, and take Malik Willis. I would absolutely be miserable if they did that. I'm not a believer in any quarterback in this draft.
Plus, I'm a believer in Jameis, bro. Maybe not like fully as the answer, but as the potential to be the answer.
Long before you were on the Jameis train, I was on the Jameis train. Long before. Like, literally,
bro,
hold on.
We gonna need to check the fucking tape on this.
We can check the tape. Literally, you want to check it?
Check the tape.
Literally, the day Tampa released him, I did a video on my YouTube channel and then on AFR. I would show you this fucking shit.
Day Tampa released him?
Day
that's pretty strong.
Tampa, and I said,
pretty strong,
go all in. I said, I will show you when we wrap up the exact thing. So I had been on this long before you were.
So are you a Jameis 1-of-1 fan then?
That guy's a little weird, bro.
Oh no, he's a complete weirdo. He makes me call from a. I'm Ubering home. So yes, that'd be great. He makes me call from a.
T-Bob's getting another drink. I'm good.
He calls in
one,
from a
one is
blocked,
my limit.
bro.
I got water. I'm good.
Bro, Jameis 1 of 1 calls in from a blocked number. Will not give you a name. Will not give you a number.
He was on my show a year before he was on.
I think he's a bit of a fundamentalist Christian, from what I've gathered too. Which whatever.
You don't understand. Everything you say about Jameis now, I was saying a year and a half before you.
Okay, so we're in the same boat there.
Did you see? I'm excited about it.
Did you? So we had Jameis 1-1 on the other day, and I did not realize.
I had him on once, a year and a half ago, and I don't think we can go down that road.
Okay, did you realize?
What was the question you were going to ask me?
Okay,
we got to go.
We're talking about Jameis.
This isn't going to be a 2-hour podcast.
No, I know, but we got to get to Jameis. We got to get to Jameis real quick. Shit, I can't find it. He was number 2 in EPA. Which is the analytics stat that they're all obsessed with.
Why do you hit me every time you
keep trying to distract? The point is,
why do you have to hit me every time? Eventually, I'm just going to turn around and slap you.
Jameis Winston was number 2.
And then I'm going to feel really bad.
And expected points added per play in the NFL, which is the single stat. That is literally the single stat that all the analytic nerds care about.
And I don't care about what analytic nerds
They fucking go to dream. They go to sleep dreaming about EPA. Number 2 in EPA in the entire league to Pat Mahomes, dude. How about that?
By the way, I have to take. Dude, I got to do this. Is Patrick Mahomes. His mother went on Twitter and called out every bitch that calls him Pat.
Yeah.
You got to respect what his mom said. You got to call him Patrick.
I just don't like
it. I get it, but you got to do better, man.
No, I just don't think about it.
I get it, but you got to do better.
Or but think about this.
His mother went on Twitter and was like, you got to call him Patrick.
Okay, but think about this. What if I didn't do better?
You got to.
No, it'd be like, what if I didn't, though?
But
you know what I'm saying?
But you got to respect that man's mother.
I mean, but allow me to offer a counterpoint. What if I don't? I mean,
that's a reflection on you to be an idiot that you know something is right and you continuously choose to do it wrong.
I mean, Patrick, Matrick, it's all the same shit at the end of the day, dude.
Not really.
Yep, it's literally the same name.
It's not.
EPA, look it up, fellas. Jameis Winston, number 2 in the league.
What else?
T-Bob, what's your latest pantry from the dispensary? Gummies. Is Honey Badger a Hall of Famer right now?
No.
No?
No.
Whoa. He's got a lot of juice. He's on an all-decade team. It's hard to make an all-decade team and not make the Hall of Fame, right? Am I wrong there?
I think you'd be surprised.
Really?
Because when I really got into the Hall of Fame convo was on Jari Evans. And Jari had a great career.
Yeah, my old man's convinced that Jari should be a Hall of Famer.
I think he should be as well. I think it's going to be very hard for him to get in. Look at the number of all-pro selections, which is really significant in that respect. And there's a lot of guys that are great players that wait their turn and sometimes never get in. I think Whitworth may never get in.
You think Witt's not going to get in?
I think
surely after getting the Super Bowl in Los Angeles, right? That helps.
I think
getting it in that market helps,
okay.
Right?
So I think I talked about this a lot on AFR, but I think the NFL is in Major League Baseball, it was before steroids. It was a numbers league. If you had 500 home runs, 300 wins, there were metrics where if you hit them, you were in automatic. The NFL doesn't have that. Who's the all-time leading passer in the NFL?
Dan Marino.
No.
John Elway.
Come on.
Peyton Manning.
No.
Tom Brady, bro.
Yes. How many yards?
68,000. No, 59,000. 59,000.
No, he's over 70.
72,000.
But that's the point. You knew the number 714 when Aaron passed Ruth, or 755, right? It's you knew. You have no fucking clue what I'm talking about.
No, you're talking about home runs. Yeah, fuck it, bro. Look at me. I'm a baseball dude. I know. Come on. I remember Bon Sosa. That was my fucking childhood.
I think Andrew Whitworth at the end of his career getting so much notoriety at the end of his career probably helps him. But I don't think he's first. Look how long Kevin Mawai had to wait. Kevin Mawai was on 2 all-decades teams.
Yeah.
And he had to wait 5 years to get in. It's hard to get in, bro.
But did Mawai never got the bowl in L.A., though? I just feel like
Tyron's not in right now, I'm telling you.
Maybe he's just so beloved. That's all I think about. He's just so beloved.
I'm with you.
Maybe not from a pure statistical standpoint, but that's how you get in. Here we go. Jameis 1-1. This is what I was looking for. Minimum 7 starts. NFL ranks in 2021. EPA, number 2 in the league. Adjusted EPA, which adjusts the quality of opponent, number 2 in the league. Total QBR, number 4. Did you know that? Total QBR, number 4 in the NFL. Raw QBR.
That's a mezcal Sazerac.
That's a mezcal Sazerac. Hold on,
Oliver
listen
Twist
though.
is popping off tonight.
Total QBR, number 4. Raw QBR, number 4. Passer rating, number 7.
Stop hitting me.
Touchdown to interception ratio, number 3. Adjusted yards per attempt, number 5. Adjusted yards per, I don't know what that says, whatever. Number 8. Yards of scrimmage, number 4. Touchdown percentage, number 1. Are you fucking kidding me?
By the way,
that
Lars
guy could still be
Corville
the
said,
answer.
would Matt ever slap T-Bob for telling a joke about his wife?
What? Her cookies are delicious. Of course not. Erica's an incredibly sweet woman. I would never tell a joke about her.
If you're doing a stand-up bit, I wouldn't care. Which is the weirdest thing about the Will Smith. Not to go to Will Smith, but like that's the weirdest thing, right?
Wait.
Like you're doing a bit.
Yeah. Oh, this is like a Will Smith reference.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get it.
It's like I don't understand that. Like,
oh, bro, he just flashed out.
that was fucking weird.
No, he just flashed out. I mean, you know how that goes.
That was weird.
We've all been in a blind rage before, and my man's just flashed out.
That
I feel
was
bad.
weird.
It's a bad stage to flash out on.
Yeah.
No, it's a bad.
Are we
it's
done?
a bad moment. I think we're done. I think we are officially. Jay, if I have a limp mic next week, I'm gonna make something limp on you. No limp my night. No limp mics next week.
Super huge shout out to Oliver Twist for hosting us. We will be here on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock for Scone and Tea. Would love it if you come and join us. They do have a full food menu, so come eat dinner here. Like, come hang out, eat dinner. The bar scene is awesome. Like, you can see behind us, this is the wall of spirits that they have. Like, you literally have to get on a ladder to go to the top shelf and move wall to wall. I mean, anything you're looking for, they have. It's incredible.
So I was going to say, we all know Matt's like a huge bourbon and whiskey nerd, and he told me in, casual private conversation that this was the best selection in Baton Rouge of any bar. So, I mean, whatever that works. Like you said, you can come drink the Black and Willet, normally $30 a pour for $7 a pour tonight.
So so if you do love whiskey, every week they're going to do what they call a what did he call it?
The break-even bottle?
The break-even bottle, thank you. And so they're going to have a great bottle, and it's just they're going to sell pours at cost.
Yeah, they're not
the
making
bottle's
profit.
gone. So it's awesome, man. So you're going to get an opportunity to sample some great stuff at a really low price that you'd otherwise never get to do. So that's really cool. Greg Lehman said, can Matt and I do a Tour de France segment in July?
Well, so we learned this today.
I want to surprise you in a second.
Okay, so do you know Tour de France? So you know
I'm really going to surprise you.
Okay, so he's talking about Flynn, but if you know cycling, you and Flynn should get together. Because Flynn did about 20 minutes on cycling today that me and Jake had no idea what the fuck was going on.
So I became, during Lance Armstrong's run, like a legit Tour de France fan.
Really?
And I also ran marathons, so like...
You ran marathons?
Yeah, and so...
I'm trying to run a 5K right now.
So like endurance...
Not to brag, I jogged 2.75 miles today.
Sweet. So I did endurance events. But anyway, the Tour de France is... I would when I was in school at LSU, this is like, it's ridiculous. I retired this 25 years ago, whatever, but I was in school at LSU, and I would...
How would you even watch it?
Right. So they re-air the stages.
Yeah.
Or you could get up like early and watch the stages, which I would do sometimes too before I go to class.
That's the best.
And this is before everything was DVR, but my roommate had a TiVo, so I could TiVo some of the stages. But
I used to fucking love the TiVo mascot, underrated business mascot.
I agree with you, actually.
Like a little happy TV.
The fact that you remember it 20 years. The fact that you remember it 20 years later. But that was in an era where it meant like the Noid, and you probably don't remember Domino's.
I was never a fan of the Noid. It didn't stick with me.
But
I was too young.
Yeah, but everything had a mascot. Yeah, but anyway, no, I was like legit. I mean, dude, Lance Armstrong and Jan Ulrich and all those guys back in the day, man, I used to love the Tour. Like, I legit watched the Tour. I watched all the stages. I mean, I was into it, seriously into it. Not just Sports Center highlights of Lance Armstrong crossing the finish line, like legit into the stages and everything.
Real talk. You and Flynn should do something for Tour de France because he's like a huge cycling nerd. And I never realized it's such a team sport. I didn't realize a lot of things about the Tour de France before this.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
All right. Hey, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him have good opinions, you know?
All right, Scone and Tea, come and watch us next week here.
Every Wednesday.
We're done. We're leaving. Bye.